We interrupt your regularly scheduled program to bring you another episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody, already in progress.
I pushed your little button, Dave.
I know, I felt that. You see me rise up in my seat?
Yeah, that's impressive. That's
Whee!
how the virtual stuff works. But before we get too far, that's how Trump lost the election.
That'll make people spin back.
I thought, well, I think get some comments in the field like we've been talking about. I always forget if I do it at the beginning, but hey, if you guys want to be on the show, Sigma Chi, talk about your Sigma Chi days with us. Email Dave at the address below. I'm sure he checks it by the
I
hour. Do
did.
you
I
wake up
checked
in the
it.
morning and check it?
Well, I have to wake up first. No, I check it. Remember, I send you a link, and then I check it that time.
Okay. All right.
So
And
nothing.
also, over in that corner, you can subscribe if you're watching us on YouTube. What is the email address for those who don't do it on YouTube? Because here I am talking about it. Do you remember it?
Oh no,
That's
Dave and
good.
Wood. I don't know.
Oh, we'll look it up. Anyhow, if you subscribe on YouTube over there,
We part of our problem.
you can leave a comment as well if you'd like to.
Quit begging.
I was looking. What? I'm not begging. I'm just saying that's
Uh,
one way you can contact
Look,
us.
we got to change the whole scope here.
Of what?
We got to get you a sales 101. You never beg. Well, that's okay.
Please buy. What
No,
happens when you beg?
people don't want it. It's like that free sofa on the curb that you drove past today. Take it away for free. Put a price
Oh,
tag on it.
sofa. I thought he said soap. Just trying
No.
to figure out who's giving why that's a common thing to give away soap.
Listen, if they don't want to listen to us, it's their loss.
Is that like an upside down pineapple
It's like a reverse
when you leave
psychology.
out free
Yeah,
soap?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so I was thinking about something you said. Oh, wait a minute. Season 6, episode 1.
Oh,
We're supposed to say that stuff now.
are we?
Someone whispered in my ear that if we're going to do this, then you have to put I think it's called a marker.
Can we put up, is there a way for me to put up little reaction? Yeah, reaction. So we're gonna say season 6. There we
Oh,
go.
that's a party.
Yeah, just wait. Yeah, I thought it was supposed to float by on the screen or something. That's pretty lame. That's all it
Oh, is that
does.
from the Zoom side?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a festive moment.
Yeah. Or you could go this way.
That's a happy turd. A
Yeah,
surprise.
exactly. Happy turds for everyone. I don't know
Woohoo!
how to get rid of it now. Oh, maybe I
Oh,
click
that's
it
your fault.
again. Well, it's on there, it's stuck because I'm not going to play that game
Because
while
we're having a party.
we're live.
It's like
I
Cinco de
am in
Mayo.
negotiations with management, so this episode might be on the house, so to speak,
On that.
because
What do you
well, I
mean?
haven't signed a dotted line yet. I'm sure you
Oh,
got your copy. Have
you're
you gotten
saying
your
that we're
copy?
no, they don't copy me on stuff. And I'm
Oh,
taller than you are, so you'd think I'd be, I don't know how that works out. All right, listen, we're mumbling.
yeah.
So I wanted to say something about last
Well,
week.
stop eating.
We were talking about gin, getting all ginned up.
Yes.
And you said that you like gin because you keep it around because you want to maybe on a hot day you want to have a gin and tonic or something.
Something. Yeah.
But the botanicals are a real problem because they'll suck the moisture right out of your skin.
Well, it feels like I'm just dry as all get out the next day from gin, more so than any other
I don't think it's the
alcohol.
botanicals. I think it's the gin to me is the closest to isopropyl alcohol, rubbing alcohol.
Yes.
So I think that's probably what's doing it. But I just thought it would be kind of cool. Like I could see you go to your friend's kind of a suave evening,
Yeah.
got a nice penthouse apartment overlooking the
Overlooking
city,
Charlotte, downtown Charlotte.
Charlotte. Yeah. And he's like, "Hey, Woody, can I fix you a drink? How about a gin and tonic?" No, no, Bob. He's got to have a club name. No, Buff. I can't do the gin and tonic because of the botanicals.
Botanicals are outrageous.
Just suck the life right out of my skin. Oh, I
Oh,
have
it's
to
so dry in
moisturize.
the morning.
Okay, hold on. Alexa, What are botanicals?
Botanicals is a form of the word botanical. As an adjective, botanical is usually defined as of, pertaining to, made from, or containing plants. As a noun, botanical is usually defined as a drug made from part of a plant, as from roots, leaves, bark, or berries.
And that's kind of a broad thing. I don't ever remember thinking of as it being an adjective, or we just didn't use it as an adjective. We used it as a noun, right? That's some kind of botanicals you got going on. I don't know. Seems like it's always a noun, but anyway, I don't know. It just kind of struck me funny. That's all.
Wow.
I'm eating cranberries. Are those considered botanicals?
No, those are considered rabbit shirts.
Alexa, are cranberries botanicals?
From foodprint.org. Botanically, cranberries are Vaccinium macrocarpon, a member of the heather, Ericaceae, family.
No, that's what I
Yeah,
was going to say that.
That was my first guess.
Facsimile.
Yeah. Listen, you could lucubrate all night and never get that right.
Lucubrate.
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 Yeah.
Braid has something to do with a skeletal sense.
Oh, absolutely.
Lucubrate. That's lubricating of the skeletal system.
If I don't sneak these in early in the show, there's a really good chance. Word of the week, folks. Lucubrate.
Lucubrate.
Yeah.
B-R-A-T-E?
Lucubrate.
Luke is the root name for luscious.
Lucubrate. Kybrate, maybe.
Lucubrate. I still think it's luscious bone. Alexa, define lucubrate.
As a noun, lubricant is usually defined as
Dave
a
knows what
substance,
lubricant
as
is.
oil or grease, for lessening friction, especially in the working parts of a mechanism.
Ooh, mechanism.
As an adjective,
Alexa, stop.
Lubricant.
It reminds you of your college days.
She's going to get the lubricate. Okay, hold on. Alexa, define lucubrate.
From Hosanna.org. Luke is the author of one of the four Gospels,
Oh.
the other three evangelists being St. Matthew.
Right, hold on,
St.
Alexa,
Mark,
stop. How do you spell it?
Lucubrate.
Alexa, define lucubrate.
The verb lucubrate is usually defined as to work, write, or study laboriously, especially at night. For more, ask me to give you more definitions for lucubrate.
Alexa, more definitions for lucubrate.
I have 6 more definitions for the verb incubate.
It's all right.
1.
Incubate.
To hatch eggs, as by sitting upon
Alexa,
them
stop.
or by.
So you can lucubrate an egg.
No. She said that was incubate.
Did she? So she got it wrong again.
Yeah, how does she say this? And then she's the one that says, query me for more of that word. And then I say it, and then she screws it up.
I don't get it. I do have a test for her, though.
Are we doing this?
Well, we can wait to do it a little bit, but I'd like to test it tonight because this is right up your alley. This is right up your alley, man. But bring her up to the microphone so she can hear me.
I think Fido just went by. Go ahead.
Hey, Alexa, what is the travel slogan for Minnesota?
The motto of Minnesota is L'Étoile du Nord, Densidade.
Here we go again. What is the travel motto for Minnesota?
You got to call her.
Alexa, what's the travel motto for Minnesota?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, the motto for the state of Minnesota is the French phrase L'Étoile du Nord. The English translation is Star
she's
of the
fired
North.
at this point.
You got to say the tourism and travel slogan.
Try it. One more chance.
Minnesota?
Yes.
Alexa, what is the travel and tourism slogan for Minnesota?
From the roadtripexpert.com. Minnesota, come for the lakes, stay for the people.
That's not even right, from what I know.
Come for the lakes.
Yeah.
Stay for the people.
I thought they got rid of that. It's Minnesota nice. It was Minnesota nice.
Nice.
Have you heard about their new tourism slogan?
No.
It's for real. It's bring ya ass.
Bring your ass to Minnesota.
Yeah.
BRINGYAAQQ.
A double S.
That's my dad used to say AWQ.
Oh,
Is it really
H-E
bring your
double
ass?
hockey sticks.
Bring
Bring
your
your
ass to
ass.
Minnesota.
Yes.
Wow.
Well, I guess it was something in terms of the Timberwolves made the Western Conference Finals. Barkley, in normal fashion was like, I don't think I'd ever get back to Minnesota or something like that. And one of the other players said, "Well, bring your ass." And now it's a kind of a joke. The state has adopted it as its temporary tourism slogan.
That's a bunch of Swedes up there, isn't it? Or Norwegians?
Yeah, Canadians.
I think they're Norwegian people.
Yeah, a lot of Lutherans in Minnesota.
Norsemen.
Yes. I know a lot of people that work in the Klondike live in Minnesota.
The ice cream place?
Yeah.
Huh.
Make Klondike bars. So
What would you do for a Klondike? Bring your
not
ass?
much. Yeah, bring your ass. So I was hoping that she would partake in that, but yeah, I thought it'd
Okay,
be
so
really
if you're
funny.
from Minnesota, please weigh in and tell us if that's something you're proud to say at the grocery store.
But you got to stop eating on the podcast, buddy.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
What does it sound like?
Sounds like eating rabbit turds, like I
They're
told
not botanicals, though. They're Zifferhillis. All right, I'll stop. They got me. I don't usually eat them, but I got a kidney infection.
How do you know?
A UTI.
You got a UTI, huh?
Yeah, I'm kidding. I think the girls have just walked in the house and they brought home a seafood boil tonight.
How do you bring home a seafood?
Well, so I was at school and I called home, said, "What's cooking?" And they said, "I think Mom wants to do a seafood boil." Now, to me, that's a house full of stinking and a
Yeah,
lot of dirty pots, and Dave gets to clean up late at night. And I'm like,
right.
"Oh God, how's this gonna go?"
Plus, aren't you supposed to do it on the beach?
I don't know, but it's a big mess. And so they called back and said, "No, we're picking it up at the Crafty Crab," which I thought was a cartoon place, but it's a real
Yeah,
place.
that's a crusty crab.
Oh, I don't see people that put that on their Facebook moniker that they work at the Krusty Krab.
Oh, okay.
And they're probably thinking, "Oh, that's a funny one. I gotta get some people on that one."
I find it kind of cute and endearing, actually. Dave?
Alexa, what is the Krusty Krab?
The Krusty Krab is a fictional fast food restaurant in the American animated television series SpongeBob SquarePants.
Yeah, Alexa, stop. The
Formula to
Krabby
which is a
Patty.
closely guarded trade secret.
Okay, when I start putting in my Facebook stuff that I work at the Krusty Krab, I guess I'm old. It doesn't matter.
Did you never watch?
Now, I was not a SpongeBob guy. Thought he was
All right.
gay. Wasn't he gay or something?
Not that I know
Nothing.
of.
There's anything wrong with that.
No, I don't. He wasn't. He never had a girlfriend or anything. If that makes him potentially gay, I guess so. I don't know.
I never. I'll take that back. I never knew SpongeBob to be gay. That was a poor slander on my part. I'm sorry,
Do we need to
SpongeBob.
back up and start over, Dave?
I don't think so.
All right.
I think my apology is genuinely
I was
accepted by
just
a
talking to
fictitious
someone
character that
about.
lives at the bottom of the sea.
Yeah, I thought that it was an excellent cartoon. I thought well written, voiced over very well, good
You know what
animation.
it is? I always come to cartoons late. All my buddies were like, "You got to watch The Simpsons," and I'm like, "It's a cartoon. I'm not watching The Simpsons." But I kind of like it. The
Yeah, it
Simpsons.
has its moments.
And then what was that one where the little kids, the little round kids that were always little Bobby, and they were angry at each other. It was like a neighborhood kids.
Not Beavis and Butthead.
Well, that was one too, but
Yeah, I never got into that one.
yeah, the little
So,
kids.
boy, you're just fascinating tonight, Dave. You're bringing in listeners by the shovel full.
by the trowel. All right, hold on. I got one more thing. So School. We can talk about this since we talked
Sure.
about the SpongeBob. Today is Wednesday, as they say, Wednesday, and tomorrow is Thursday, and tomorrow is our last half day with the students, and the checklist is almost completed. Grades are all in but one class and posted. So those things are clicking along. I'm staying after work. The people get out at 12:30. Most people jettison. Of course, they're probably getting all the stuff done. I'm just slow. But I was there till 3:50 today, and I'll probably do the same close to that maybe tomorrow. But I'm trying something new. So this year I was involved in eating school lunches because I wanted to see what the Michelle Obama diet was really all about. And it's not
There
good.
never has been nor never will be a good school lunch.
No, that's when I was a kid, man. I couldn't wait to have lunch.
Yeah, but it was crummy food.
No, it was Salisbury steaks and green beans and
Yeah,
sourdough
that was
bread.
really healthy stuff.
It doesn't matter. It was good. Anyway, so I'm buying healthy choices, the little frozen food in a basket. You know those things?
No,
Yeah. It's not all it's cracked
you
up.
lost me at healthy.
I know. Well, I started off with lean cuisines. I'm like, there's no food in this thing. You got to eat two of these things to get anything done. And my wife's like, well, that's the premise behind the lean cuisine is that you eat one and you cut down to your big fatty. I'm like, well, that's no good for me. Do they have like a Stouffer's family version of a lean cuisine? I need to feed a family of four.
I love people that like say, "Well, I eat lean cuisine." Like, yeah, okay, yeah, and they're like, "Yeah, about 7, 8 of them for dinner."
I mean, they're just so tiny. This must be the appetizer. Anyway, so I get to hog the. We have a microwave, and the sign says "Stop and look around" on the microwave, because if we run our microwave and someone's copying copiers in the workroom, it'll
Yeah.
it'll blow the fuse.
What? Oh, I see. Okay. I thought you were going to tell me it like disrupts the copy machine. Well, it
Well,
does, but you know, in its ability to copy. So let's get real here for a second. What's
Okay.
the lowest grade you're given?
I'm failing a couple kids.
Get out of here.
Yeah.
I thought
They
you
have
weren't
to
allowed
work
to do
hard.
I thought you weren't allowed to do that anymore.
Well, I gotta be careful here.
Well, just talk about the not the person,
Well,
but the
from a policy standpoint, yeeks.
all right, don't worry about it then.
Yeah. So I got a couple kids that have been absent a lot, and so they're just not going to make it. 54, I think, was the lowest grade I gave out.
Oh, okay. I didn't
Which
know
is
you.
You have to try hard to fail my class.
I think that's the case in all school now, from what I gather. So because it's just too much of a liability to fail a child anymore. And of course, we have
I
no
don't wanna-
child left behind.
Yeah,
Previous administrations.
I don't want to get into this conversation because I'm not worried about my job. It's just that there are some things going on in our public education system that are messed up.
Yes. Well, yeah, that is. I
Alluded to.
don't know if it ought to be perfect though. Is there any way to make it?
Well, unfortunately, what people fail to recognize or they're not willing to admit to is sometimes the things that we did in the olden days aren't broken and they work.
Don't fix what ain't broken. Yeah.
Yeah. And so they tried all this feel good newfangled stuff and they brought in all the PhDs and all the psychotherapists and said, "Oh, we got to give kids the chance to create and find themselves and all this other stuff." All that memorizing multiplication tables is hurting their psyche. I don't know. Well, it turns out it worked.
I know you're goofing off, but we still memorize multiplication tables, do we not? No?
We don't teach grammar.
I remember doing them with my kids. That's why, I mean, it had
Where did
me
they go to school, public or private?
public.
Well, your kids have graduated from are on the verge of one of them's in
Yeah,
college.
so it's been 15 years maybe.
Yeah,
So,
well, it's different now.
oh, it's all different.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, it's sad. I'm not going to point fingers at my school system because there's no perfect school system, and I think our school system, uh, here's the way I say it. In any large organization, you got some. First of all, you got some knuckleheads that shouldn't be there. Any organization, probably where you work, you could probably come up with a handful of people that probably shouldn't be there. You'd be at the front of the
Maybe
list.
me, yeah, me at the top of the list, possibly.
And then at the school or any government agency, there's plenty of knuckleheads that probably shouldn't be there. So there's personnel issues that are just across the board. And then as me, as you get into bureaucracy, and especially if there's money tied to it, then the government, whether it's federal, state, or whatever, just doesn't do a good job of making policy that's tied to money. Everyone says, "Oh, just throw more money at it. We got to pay teachers more. We got to spend more money on education." No, we got to do what we're supposed to do, but nobody wants to do that. It comes down to accountability. No one
Well,
wants
that would require more taxes, though, wouldn't it?
to pay people. Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you got a conversation going on up in your neck of the woods at a local, state, or municipality level where the legislative people that are running for office are talking about a campaign that involves no property taxes?
Uh-uh.
Have you heard that somewhere where anyone's saying, I'm running on a platform that says do away with property taxes?
Well, they'll just get it some other way,
Well, it's a value added tax.
or a higher sales tax,
That's
or
what it is. That's what it
yeah. That's always tell people like, well, I'm moving to so and so because they don't have state taxes. I'm like,
is.
fine.
So when you were in London, did your daughter talk about that at all?
Huh?
Did your daughter talk about the value added tax in London?
No, I don't think
Retail?
she makes enough to to
Well,
warrant
when
that.
you purchase things, did you buy any swag and see a tax number?
Nothing of major value.
Because when I was there, they talked about VAT, value added tax, and that's instead of income tax. I think they have both.
It's
Um,
great. I get to work in my own private office, isn't it?
It's like that news reporter where the kid comes in on the little roll around thing.
And the mom slides it on her knees.
It wasn't the mom, it was like the nanny or something.
Well, I assumed it was some caretaker of some sort.
It was hilarious. Anyway, it starts out with, oh, it's only 3%. And then someone gets the wild hair up their butt. Oh, it looks like it's going to have to be a little bit more than 3%.
Right.
Hang on a second. Let's see if I don't think Alexa knows this. Alexa,
So let's ask her.
how much is the value added tax in London?
According to an Alexa Answers contributor, in the UK, the standard rate of value added tax or VAT is 20%.
It was 11, I think, when I was there, and they were talking about, or 7, and it was talking about going to 14.
Yeah.
So
that's 20, not too bad. 6% over umpty up years that you were there.
20%.
Yeah. Well, but they have
on a $500 purchase, you're gonna $100 extra is going to. Tax.
Yeah, I bet you. I don't know how to measure it all, but it all comes out in the wash.
Oh, Woody.
What do you think? I'm naive?
No, I don't think you're naive. Your philosophy, and I'm not bashing you because my philosophy is different than yours, and you could make an argument towards mine, but I guess I'm selfish and you're communal. I think there's an ilk that says, well, if everybody's chipping in, it's going to be okay.
No, I didn't mean it that way. I just meant it's 20% there, and ours is what, 7% on average, probably here.
Yeah,
but we pay other tax. They're going to get your money one way or the other.
Yeah,
is my point.
Okay, all right, I'll retract that then.
Yeah, but I know what you're saying. I know what you're getting at, and yes, that is true as well. So if you want nice things, you got to pay for
them. Yeah, like what are these called? Cranberries. All right.
rabbit
I don't know
turds.
where this show's going on tonight. I signed in at 6:49.
And what happened?
Let's just kill it.
Well,
Cut
what'd
it.
you do this weekend?
I guess I can talk about this. So my daughter's girlfriend that went up to school with her
Yeah.
to see her graduate, she is vacationing now with her family, and they own a ranchette property, just maybe a mile and a half around the corner from us.
Oh,
And they've got
what's ranchette imply?
it's a small piece of parcel, it's a sizable home. What do they call those McMansions?
Yeah. Okay.
It's probably 3 to 5 acres,
Okay.
and they have 2 horses.
I was gonna say, do they run the herd through the backyard? Okay.
Yeah, they have a Percheron, which is a beautiful, um, medium-sized draft horse.
Oh.
He was a
So
former,
so when you go over there, he pours the beer for you?
well, yeah, he was a former police a dog, police horse. He was a former mounted police horse.
But you said he's small.
No, he's a Percheron breed is not as big as a Belgian, for example.
Getting all fancy with your horse talk here, Dave. What's
I'm
going
a little
on?
horsey. I
Yeah.
love the Percheron. They're beautiful. It's the kind of horse that I would ride. It's big enough to hold me.
Remember the old cartoons that would sag in the middle?
Yeah. And then they have a quarter horse. So here
That's a
comes the
racing
change.
horse, right?
Western style, could be a racing horse. Yeah. Sometimes cutting horse or cattle, run cattle and that sort of thing. This one was I believe a trail horse.
What's a cutting horse do?
When you
Does it
work
slice
cattle.
its own hooves?
Yeah. It's got mental health issues, and it sharpens its hooves at night and then slices itself. No, it's you cut cattle. You herd cattle with it. Come on, giddy up, little doggy.
What's cattle mean?
Well, when you run cattle and you're bringing them in to the homestead,
Yeah.
you cut them, meaning you say this one goes in this pen and this one goes
Oh,
in that pen. And so you just don't run them all into one pen. You pull the heifers out to one side and you put the steer in on the other side. And anyway, so
I missed that. I
that's
guess.
not a joke. The Bergeron's
Oh.
name is Heston, like
But they
Charles.
call it Hesse.
They call it Huddy. No,
Right.
it's Heston, and I think they say Heston. And the other one's name is Cadillac,
Hmm.
and he's not pink. He's blonde. Heston
Wow.
is a charcoal colored. He's a
Named
beautiful.
after Charleston Heston.
I think so. He's a beautiful animal. He's just
We talk about
he's
Charles or the horse?
the horse.
Oh,
He's they're like big dogs to put 2,000 pounds. They really are. They're just big puppies, and so he's clearly the boss. And so when Cadillac is getting a little frisky, waiting for food, he gets a little frisky too, but he doesn't move as fast. But the dude can leave a divot in the ground when he moves.
oh,
He's got some big feet, and you
very
hear
nice.
like a thundering herd. You hear him coming. So they're just majestic, beautiful animals. So I'm not riding any one of them, but he's fun to be around. Both of them are, but he's a beautiful animal. So
Cool.
anyway, what was the question?
Well, I asked what a ranchette was, but then what you did over the weekend.
Oh, over the weekend. So she's out of town. Her family's out of town on vacation, and they have contracted with my daughter to house sit the animals. And it's funny because we did this last time and it had a cocker spaniel, so it's exponentially grown in
Oh, well,
size. So she goes over and mucks out the stalls in the morning, prepares the food and hay, and turns them out to the paddock.
hey.
Yeah, that's why I told Heston that. He didn't get it. He didn't think that was funny. I'm
Well,
not sure. I'm
he's
not sure.
woke.
Yeah, I'm not sure he truly understood it. But anyway, so we did that, and then Memorial Day. I had to go to Green Cove Springs Memorial Day River Festival down on the St. Johns River
Hmm.
and put in duty as a shift.
Why would you do that to the river?
So I had we had the Republican tent, the Clay County Republican GOP tent, and I was manning the tent for a 2 to 5 shift. Man, it was hot.
Yeah.
Was it hot in Charlotte this past weekend?
I don't know. I wasn't here.
That's right, you were at the lake.
Yep.
So I did that and pressed the flesh with a bunch of people. I was really pretty hot though. It was hot. And did a little campaigning, if you will. We've got a guy for a school board I'm trying to promote.
Okay.
Um, I like that, pressing the flesh and talking to people. It was just so bleeding hot though.
Yeah. Like, what are we talking? 90 and
Oh God, I
100%?
think it was over 100 degrees on Sunday or Monday.
In May?
Dude, we've got a heat wave. I don't know what's happening, but it's hot.
Yeah, no, it was actually very pleasant. I went out and played a round of golf on Saturday, and it was mid 70s
That's
the whole
up
time.
in Tennessee.
Yeah. So enjoyed myself there. Played with my son. Got a round of golf in up at the lake. New course I had never tried before. Not a new course, but a course new to me that I got
I
to
thought you said
play.
nude course.
Well, yeah. There's got to be a balls joke in there somewhere.
Play with a stiff shaft or a lady's shaft. All right, that's too
I
easy.
play from the tips.
Yeah, that was low hanging fruit.
Yeah. But I was very disappointed for my racing day.
Yeah, so Sunday rain delay. Tell us about that.
Well, first you wake up and you watch Monaco Grand Prix.
That's in the south of France, right?
Or it's in Monaco.
Yeah, I've been there, by the way.
So have I.
Yeah, I saw
Yeah.
Princess Grace's tomb.
I don't think I did that. We drove around Monaco and it was a week after the race, so
That
I
doesn't
was
take
able
very
to see
long.
like the start. We drove by the start finish line, things like that. But the problem with Monaco is the race is on Saturday when they do the time trials because it's very hard to pass at the track. And the only thing challenging, I would say, in the race is, once someone gets to the lead, which is 99% of the time the pole sitter, the only one challenge is that they have to make one pit stop because you're required to ride on 2 different sets of tires, 2 different grades, soft, medium, or hard compounds. And so you kind of look forward to the pit stop. Well, on the first lap of the race, way back in the pack, there was a big accident. And it was so big that they had to red flag the race. So the drivers came around, and in Formula One, you're allowed to work on your cars during a red flag. So they all brought their cars into the pits and they changed tires on lap 1.
It wasn't like a super fast change. It was like,
Yeah, do whatever. Yeah, not like the 2-second, pit stops they have. It was, lackadaisical. They had 30 minutes to work on. So they all changed their tires during that pit stop. So there was no need for a pit stop during the race then anymore.
yeah.
So once they went back out, it was just follow the leader for an hour and a half, basically around the track, which is just they need to either come up with a different car for that track, or
Is it a track or through town?
It's through town. It's a street course.
Well, wait a minute. So when and why were you in Monaco?
When we were 2 years ago, we went to Spain and France and kind of cruised around the Mediterranean. And Monaco was one of the stops we made on the cruise ship.
Is this the same guy that someone brings up the subject of $1 and this guy's pinching pennies? Is this the same guy?
Well, I put my wife's in charge of vacations. I will say, I think I've told it on the show before. She made a proclamation early in our kids' lives that when you graduate high school, you could pick a place.
This is that deal.
Yeah, to go.
Who picked Monaco?
What's that?
Who picked that trip?
That was my daughter. She actually picked Spain and France is where she wanted to go. So we did a Mediterranean cruise, which also included Italy, of course, along the way.
So you did Calais? No, you did. Calais is where you come in. What's the other town down there by Monaco on the south of France? What starts the Riviera?
I don't know. I can't remember all these names. All I know is we took off out of Barcelona.
Oh, yeah, I went there.
I love Barcelona.
No, we had a bad experience there.
Oh, okay. Well, that was a long time ago. It's improved since then, Dave.
1984.
Yeah, it's gotten a lot better. 30 years later,
Yeah, they
40
blamed
years
us, they
later.
blamed us for some bombings that we didn't do.
Something like that. But anyhow, so that's why I was in Monaco. So it's kind of fun to watch the race and know the different parts of the track I've been on or been around. And
So you were smart. So like when I lived in London, I didn't become a jazz buff until later years after I got back. But there's a concert over there called Montreux.
yes, I've heard that.
And I think it's in south of France somewhere.
I stay away from it.
But I could have gone and not Sammy Davis, but oh shit. The trumpeter.
Now you got me screwed up by saying Sammy
I
Davis,
know.
but
Anyway, so I could have seen all the greats in the mid 80s. I could have gone to Montreux and seen all the greats.
there was a band called Montrose, wasn't there?
I don't know. But I wasn't smart enough. It sounds like you said, "Hey, wait a minute, we're going to go there. Let's go see this Grand Prix."
Yes, and I plan to go back and actually see the race itself. Um, yes, there was a band, Montrose. It was an
Did you play
American
Baccarat?
hard rock band formed in 1973, Dave.
Did you play Baccarat down there in the casino at the Monte Carlo?
No, I went into like the lobby and everything looked way out of my league as far as how much it was going to cost to play.
Yeah.
And I don't like gambling personally. I'm not a big fan of it. I just feel like I'm throwing my money away for no reason. Back to the cheapness, if you will.
Yeah.
I can't even, even like penny slots and stuff. I'm like, why? The odds are against you. You're not. However, I do play the lotto.
I don't know if you're playing the lotto when you buy the tickets,
I
right?
buy a number. Yeah. I do it with a group of people. Been doing it for years. So
Same number all the time.
I do. We buy 12 tickets a week. Yes. And now that there's 3 drawings, when it's my turn, I buy 4 for each drawing, is what I do. And one of those is always the same.
So is your rationale behind that? I love talking to people about this because it's funny.
There is no rationale, but go
Well,
ahead.
there's got to be because you've held on to it. So the theory is it's random theoretically,
Right.
but the odds of your sequenced number, the one you've been doing for 20 years, it's getting closer to it happening.
That is one of the mindsets in Lotto. So what I used to do, and I thought I was a genius, I used to pull the history of Lotto numbers and then do a histogram of each number pulled and look for the low ones, right? Because they're due. Theoretically, they're due.
You should have gone with the ones that keep repeating.
But yes, in your same sense, I play the same 5 numbers each time I'm in charge. And I've never gone back and seen if they hit on my off week. There's 6 of us in the group. So
I got to tell you a fraud story. I guess I could go to prison for this. I don't know.
How much was it worth?
Well, let's just say hypothetically this happened.
Okay.
So when the lottery came to Florida,
I remember that.
Everybody was crazy, right?
Yeah.
And so I had this idea that what you just said, that I would go out because I don't know how you did it. We didn't have the internet back then, but
you had to go back and look. We would look back in newspapers and stuff to see the numbers because we did this in college.
I got a hold of the Florida Lottery and said, I need a list of all the winning numbers.
Yeah, I guess.
And so I bought one of those ads in magazines that said Florida Lottery winning numbers for $5.
Like when you walk in the horse track, the people outside, I've won 7
yeah, whatever. I just put Florida
winners.
Numbers. I didn't say these were guaranteed. I just said winning numbers for $5.
Did it work?
People sent me $5, man. I think I got up to about, I'm embarrassed to say this, a couple $100. And I was like, okay, we got to stop this.
It's stupid. Would you mail them back numbers?
Well, yeah. So I took the list that I had copied. My dad made copies of it. He was like, "What is this for?" I'm like,
Don't worry about that. Just don't answer the door if a man in a U.S. Postal Service badge is out there.
Self-addressed stamped envelopes, and I would stuff them in there and send them back. Oh my God, it was hilarious. I think I actually we moved some time ago, and I found the box that had the original.
So, I mean, you put some effort into it, though, right?
No,
It wasn't, you just didn't write down 5 numbers and ship it off.
I put a list of legitimate winning numbers into it.
For all you know, one of the first people that sent you $5
could have won
the lottery on the 5 numbers you sent back.
And they're out there telling the story,
telling everybody, you got to get this guy.
I spent $5 and I'm
I freaking won $2 million. That'd be awesome if you did write some winning numbers. I didn't even know it. If you're listening and you won off Dave's 5 winning numbers, please let us know. I'd love to hear from somebody who fell victim to Dave's.
Or if you feel like you were,
What's that phrase? If time's run out on a crime, Pat Kelly, please weigh in.
Statute of limitations.
Statute of limitations. Yes. Excuse me.
I think that we have exceeded that.
And now you made me forget what I was going to talk about next, but no, it was about the lottery, and so we do it more as a social thing. It's people I used to work with 10 years ago.
Okay,
one of those big.
Have you had the discussion, the what if discussion?
Oh, of course.
It
depends on the size of the what if, right? If it's like, so there's 6 of us, so keep that in mind. When it's over $1 billion, right? That discussion starts. So what's that? Half billion, right? $500 million after taxes, and 6 of us. So each of us roughly gets $100 million.
Yeah.
And that is obscene amount of money to have. So my thing, I would obviously, the first thing I do is make sure I wouldn't give money to anybody, even my children. It would be set aside in a way that it requires a bit of work, if you will.
You wouldn't buy Spotify, so then you could say you had a successful working podcast.
And make sure that we're always on top. First, damn it! I asked for things about automobiles, and this David Woody crap keeps coming up on my search. It's like
So your first comment out the gate is, I'm not giving any money to my kids. Screw that.
Well, no, it's a dangerous thing, right? Just giving people money has never worked in the history of
the state gave you $100 million or $1 million, whatever it is.
No, I invested over the years.
Okay,
and
so what is your
what
is the threshold for your kids to finally get the money?
Well, first of all, I would at some level their housing and food would be pretty much taken care of for the rest of their lives somehow. I don't know how that would be, budget wise and stuff like that. So that they could survive, right? That would be in there. If they want to do anything above and beyond that, then they have to be employed along those lines in some shape, way, fashion, or form, because it's unhealthy not to occupy yourself with something and learn those feelings and know how to work with other people and so forth. Do you not agree?
I'm just saying, for coming from the guy that's sitting on $100 million.
Well, it's too bad. You go play the lottery and win then, buddy.
you're at your ivory tower going, well,
Well, that's what I said. I would.
I
It's
put
very
in
hard.
50 years, kids.
Now, granted, this is Woody talking. Mrs. Woody might have some insight to how just giving the effing money, would probably be her take on the whole thing. But no, you see the awful things that happen to people that
I
just
know
are
what you're saying.
given money. So, and then of course, my project would be my property in Tennessee. I'd be able to put a lot of money, and my wood shop would have nothing but the best tools around, my hobby wood shop, and it'd just be nice. And of course, there'd be a lot of
Would you get a better boat trailer?
yeah, one that doesn't come off the back of the truck
Maybe a
and,
new truck?
and careen down the hill
Or
and
just buy
smash
the
it
lots down the hill in front of you and just knock all their houses down.
and just keep it down. I kind of live on a peninsula area, and me and one of the neighbors who since passed up there used to talk about. I'm like, I just buy everyone's home and this peninsula and just make it,
Yeah, just
Cape
mow
Woody.
down their houses.
Yeah, and just make it all land. My wife would open some sort of animal sanctuary of that, something in that ilk, and I always thought to do homage. My father gave us child support and everything, and I lived with him during the summer, but there was an element in there of my mother raising two boys on a admin salary.
Mm.
So I always thought, in that sense, I would do something for single mothers, along those lines to help them raise their children maybe a little better than they would be able to afford to do. You're laughing, so I'm waiting for you to.
No, I'm just trying to think of the angle. So you're so you've got this scholarship, we'll call it, for lack of
Yeah.
a better term, or this beneficiary
benefit. Yeah,
benefit. The
Right.
recipient would be the beneficiary. You'd be the benefactor. A
right,
scholarship, we'll call it that. And
Right.
so you're going to advocate for single mothers because of your life experience.
right.
But here you are, 50, whatever, and this thing hits the street, and you've got this cavalcade of single mothers applying for the benefit.
Yeah.
Would you be on that board to, interview those candidates?
I don't think I would do it as here's money. I was thinking of more of a hey, here's a school for your children to attend that you can still you could work and not have to worry about getting your kids at 3 in the afternoon and then finding them after school care, and those kind of things, helping them with some of the things that were difficult for my mother to provide.
Yeah. Okay.
So I don't think again, giving money
You're going to
never
run out of
solves
money.
anything.
100 million doesn't go that far as far.
No, not at all, man. I wouldn't be able to last 3 weeks with my drinking habit.
You
And
probably get down to it and say, wait a minute, this is
I
cutting into my tool budget.
yeah, I'm fully prepared to be a raging alcoholic as well.
I'd smoke a lot of cigars. Honey, that's 600,000 in cigars. I know.
I'm sure our Sigma Chi brother in the business would definitely appreciate you winning $100 million then.
Yeah, I get.
Can you say the name of his shop in case people want to go there?
Corona cigar. Don't. So now he's thinking, okay, Theus has won $600 million. He's coming to Corona
right.
cigar.
You remember all those cigars I gave you, buddy? Payback time.
None.
None.
He was never in the business of giving.
You know
stuff
what?
away. I love him to death, but
that is what makes a successful business. I always see
That's right.
people, restaurants especially, bars, more so than any. Everybody comes in expecting free drinks, and they give out free drinks, and before you know it, you're out of business.
Yeah, no, I learned a valuable business lesson from his father. His father's passed now.
Yeah, I remember. I took my car to his dad a couple times.
Yeah, but I remember, Mr. B, I need some tires. Can you help a brother out? He goes, listen, Dave, we got enough friends, friend. I don't need any more friends. I need paying customers. I'm like, so no deal on that?
No dice.
I'm like, wow, that's painful. But
but what was nice, because I was on a budget, and I would take his garage was over near where I worked when I worked for that radio
Silver Star
station.
Road.
Yeah. And what was nice is that when I brought my car in there, they would tell me, all right, at a minimum, you need this to
Yeah,
be
no.
safe on the road. And
Yeah,
I'd be like, all right, give me the minimum.
he was
Eh,
that mechanic that everybody hoped to get. That was
Yes. Yeah. And his son, our brother at the fraternity, was also very knowledgeable on cars and such. Even though he roared around he have a Corvette?
at one point. Yeah,
Yeah, I remember that. Freaking college. Here we are, all these humble guys driving
I don't think it was brand new.
PO. Well, I don't care. It was a Corvette, man. That was sweet.
Yeah,
So,
he was a player. Anyway, so all right, well that's interesting. I don't know. We've waxed. That's one of those arguments that or conversations people have all the time. When I worked in the financial publishing business, Shaquille O'Neal had just come to town
ugh,
in Orlando, and he signed I don't know, his third or fourth year, signed a pretty big contract, and we figured out mathematically that, and it's funny now because look where he is now,
yeah.
that he could never run out of money. Now the stipulation was he couldn't go out and buy jets and real estate in New York City. He had to live somewhat within his means, but being large mansions, parties, all the stuff that those guys do, and all the fancy jewelry and cars, and paying for the
Yet some of
girls.
them still figure out a way to spend it all.
Well, but we figured in his money, it was basically impossible to run out of money, and then he has lived to that.
Well, he's made a lot since then as well.
Yeah. Well,
So it wasn't just that. Remember that movie Brewster's Millions
yeah, that was a fun movie.
with Richard Pryor, right?
Yeah, where he had to give it away. He couldn't buy things.
Yeah, he could invest in things. So he invested in the bringing icebergs down to poor countries so they would have water and whatever he had to spend. And was it only $1 million?
Well,
Though it had to be more than that.
no, it was a million. His grandfather or some uncle or some rich
Right.
left him $1 million
And
and
he was
said,
a minor league baseball player.
"Yeah, if you spend it and get rid of it, don't tell anybody the deal,
That's right.
then you're in line to inherit kind of your philosophy about making kids work for it and understand the value of a buck."
Yeah.
And that's what the guy was teaching him was it's more to it than it looks like on the surface. And so all of his friends were like, "You're blowing through the money. You gotta keep it." I like
John
the big,
Candy was
yeah.
in
He was
that.
the catcher, I think, or something.
Right. And at some point he's trying to stop him from spending money on
Yeah,
dumb
well,
stuff.
they even hid money, and then which almost screwed him up.
Well, that was the bank. The bank hid money because if he didn't win the money, the bank got the money.
Yeah,
So the bank was trying. That was the whole premise. The little snotty bank dude was trying to keep him from spending all the
nefarious.
money, and so he hid $1 somewhere. So when he came in to collect, they're like, "No, you still have $1 left." And I forget how he's like, "Well, don't I owe you $1?"
Yeah,
So
it's a movie,
yeah, oh, it's all right.
but it was a fun financial life lesson. That and trading places to learn about the futures market and
Yes.
commodities.
Are you hearing my dog scratch at a door behind me?
No,
No,
I heard
but
it
here come the people to
to
extract her.
to Eliminator.
Yes, from the scene. But so
Why do they put? Is that like a bathroom or something down there?
now we have the my daughter is home for the summer and she brought her dog home with her. And
Oh,
my corgis are notoriously um
territorial.
yes, and so they need a break from each other from time to time. So we just leave the one dog up front, and then my dog, when they get snotty with each other, like they did just before I got on here tonight, we separate them. And now she wants back in the room, of course, for whatever reason. I have no clue because she just got the snot kicked out of her. She's like, "Let me back in there." So because the other dog's noticeably bigger. So
Um, I was thinking the other day. We've been doing this will be 61st episode today.
Yeah.
And our title of our show is "We Can Help" with Dave and Woody. And I know I haven't. This is on the spot with you, catching you off guard. But I'm sick of it, Woody. I'm ready to quit. No, just kidding. So what I was thinking though is we have really turned this into a weekly conversation. It's always been a conversation that we're
Yeah.
having.
Well, we had hoped it was we had envisioned it going differently.
Well, I think sometimes, if you turned on your spigot, your hose out on your front lawn
All right, be right
and
back.
just didn't do anything to it other than just turned it on, water would figure out its way on its own merit to get where it needs to go. And I kind of look at what we're doing with that same kind of energy. Um, so I don't know if it's appealing to someone, but I did put a title of one of the episodes to like join us for a conversation.
Oh, yes.
And it's gotten some viewership or listenership, I guess, fairly well. I mean, not our numbers aren't tremendous, but several
Speaking of
people,
winning a lotto.
yeah, but several people have found it, and I don't know if it's just driven by the title or not, but I don't know. I mean, we're at liberty to try different things, obviously, and I
Obviously.
enjoy our time together. I think it's a unique
Well,
situation.
that's something you keep to yourself.
Our time together.
Yeah. Yeah. You enjoy your time together.
I like to ruminate about it, you know. When,
That I know that word. That's not the word of the week. If I know it,
you know what
doesn't
ruminate
count.
is?
Yeah, to think about to dwell on something.
Chew on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I just find us getting back to this conversation that we have. It's just two friends getting together for a chat on a Wednesday or Thursday, depending on our schedule. And we hang out for an hour and we enjoy each other's company. I know that you don't like to talk about that in public, but I know, I don't know.
I wish
All right.
sometimes I listen back to the show. I'm like, how did I not hear that? Or I totally miss what you were going for at that point. But in the moment, sometimes I don't know if I'm thinking about something else
No, I'm not
or
going anywhere with that. That was just,
you've bored me so much that I'm just blissfully staring into the camera.
you don't listen very well. I noticed that.
No.
But then again, neither do I. So we get that from our wives, probably. You don't listen.
What? I have to concentrate on whatever it is. I mean, really concentrate on something. And so,
That's called listening.
man, but it's not easy.
It's not. It's probably the toughest part of a conversational relationship is the listener.
And I'm kind of forced to in this situation because of the earmuffs I wear, piping in the sound.
Can
So
you hear in your ears what's going on? Or those sound deadeners?
yeah. No, unfortunately, they're not.
It
They're,
doesn't work.
so what are you doing?
They're blowing up the kitchen. I'm like, what the
Hey,
hell?
we're just sitting here talking about do I hear things outside my headphones, and you lean back and you yell at your family.
Oh, they're
in the other
running.
room.
We got to get a new disposal.
Well, to be honest with you, we're up against it, and tonight is Ant Hill clearing at the Woody household.
No, that's interesting because that's something I'm getting ready to do again this time of year, but I don't clear them though. What do you do?
Well, I don't have the fire ants, right?
I don't know.
No, I don't. I assume you're dealing with fire ants in Florida, right?
Well, they're
Which are a little bit more
aggressive or
aggressive and they
painful.
make big hills. What we do is they're only tiny little
Sugar
mounds,
ants.
a little bit bigger than that maybe. But you know what I do instead of having mounds all over the yard, what we do is we figure, okay, here's a really good location for an anthill, and then and then
if you say you're going to move them all to one spot.
We move the ants from where they are into the new location. Oh, you started laughing. I tried to look away.
This is an ant relocation program.
Yes, exactly. Because ants are a vital part of the ecosystem, Dave. You don't
Are
just
ants
can't
like a euphemism for a certain demographic of people? I thought you were telling me.
Oh, but
These like neighbors in your neighborhood that you're looking to get rid of or something. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Hey, listen, there's a beautiful house across the street, across
Let's
that
move all
other
you
neighborhood
people over there.
on the other side. I really think you should take a look at. So,
is there poison involved or shovels?
shovels mostly. I mean, you got to be careful, right? You got
I think you
try.
do.
You got to try and get the whole. Speaking of YouTube and stuff, have you ever seen these guys who pour molten lead down? And
Yeah,
it's interesting. It's kind of
silver
disgusting.
too. I've seen them do silver.
Oh, really? And then they try to sell it like artwork or something. Like,
Yeah.
who wants that?
Good looking ant mound. I mean, you know.
Good looking ant mound. Did you ever have one of those ant farms as a kid?
I don't know. I think I was into worms.
What?
I did earthworms. I had a little earthworm business when I was everything was around a business for me.
An earthworm business. Were you
Yeah.
that kid on the side of the road selling to fishermen at 5 a.m. or
Yeah.
something?
My
Start a little bait
buddies.
shop.
I used them and grew them myself for me because I wanted the best for my fishing, and then I sold them to my friends to fish with. Sometimes I'll have to go through my list of
How do you grow a worm?
Well, you need a worm to start off with.
Just one?
There's a joke there.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, no, yeah. Yeah, well, you buy a box of worms from the bait shop and then you cheat. But yeah.
Okay. Well, I'm going to cut you off there because we are hitting the top of the hour.
All right, but I'm using the ant bait, so it's actually food laced with poison.
Nice, you cruel bastard! You.
Yeah, we're not moving anybody. We're killing.
You got little gas ovens. You move them all into too, Dave.
No, but about a week after this, we do have a group of people from like New Orleans that come up with trumpets and baritones and they march around the yard.
You put them on. Do you get out like your old H&O railroad train and you put all the ants on there and then you roll it down the track still to your gas?
No, stop. No, we have whalers, professional whalers that come in and perform. No. No, we're just happy to get rid of them.
No, I can imagine. So,
all right, well, we better stop here. Between the botanicals, it's starting to suck me dry.
Yes. I'm going to prove to you that was a correct statement.
Well, let's do this. Let's close out here. But I will next week when we get together again, I will not be working. I'll be unemployed.
That'll be nice. You're not really unemployed. You're just on sabbatical.
Yeah, I'm on sabbatical.
Not even sabbatical. Hiatus.
Yeah, I guess so. A long
sabbatical. You're still working technically.
Extended holiday.
So, well, I look forward to it. Maybe you can make some money for me.
I did make money yesterday in the market.
Did you? Well, let's talk about it next week. Okay. Save it for next week.
All right. Well, this is it. I'm Dave.
I'm Woody.
And you've listened to it's not really titillating episode of We Can Help with Dave and Woody, but it's a conversation.
I was about to say, it's a conversation.
Join us for a conversation. I think you'll enjoy it.
Email if you'd like to be a live participant in our conversation.
All right. The email's in the notes. So we can't remember what it is, but it's down in the show notes. Listen to us on Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts, except for Apple. But wherever you listen to podcasts, including Spotify, Spreaker, and iHeartRadio. And then check us out on YouTube because Woody would love to have you as a subscriber. Oh, by the way, we picked up a subscriber.
We did?
Yeah, my daughter logged into our
TV. No, it says I'm -1 in the last 28 days.
Well, maybe someone dropped off with a positive, but my daughter was logged in on the TV and I went, okay. So I ran over to search our show and I.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I try to do that occasionally too.
Anyway, all right, we'll get a bug out. So God bless you guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we look forward to seeing you next week. Peace out.